Tyler is the best way to describe his fighting style is a fucking car crash. There's no other way that the fight's going when Tyler steps in the cage. It's somebody's getting knocked the fuck out.
Tyler he's shooting for a triangle here. Got it. Get it right here. Switch. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, and that's it, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm Todd No Smoke. I got into fighting when I was a kid. I was always in and out of combat sports, training, karate, wrestling, boxing. About 5 years ago, didn't really have any direction in my life. I've always been interested in fighting, fights at school and in the street. So I was like, let me see what gyms around where I can get some good work. I called them up and was like, hey, I want to fight. And they're like, well, why don't you come to the gym and train and let's see what you got and we'll go from there. That's where I took off at. Fighting, what it means to me personally is absolutely everything. When I first started, I actually dove real deep into it and identified myself as a fighter. My whole lifestyle was fighting. That's just what my life was. Now as a professional, I look more at it as like it's what I do because I do have a family and a son, but fighting itself is everything to me. It changed my life. It gave me a way out of the situations that I was in as a younger kid and just gave me light, gave me a sense of direction and completely changed my life. Fighting personally is absolutely everything to me. My why when I step in the cage is I just want to leave memories. I want to leave highlights. I want to leave something that my son or family, friends that we can all look back on, whether I'm still here or if I'm gone from this life. Pull up my old fights and pull up my highlights and look at my Instagram feed and just see all the memories and all the things that we went through to get to the end, so it'll be cool to look back on when everything's done, especially for my son. My son's 3 years old. He just turned 3 in January, and he's a pretty active young kid. He's very social. He's all about his daddy. He loves to see what his daddy does, and I mean, he was at my fights when no reason to really be in there. Probably shouldn't have been there, but I mean, he's seen me go through some wars and probably didn't even know what he was looking at. But when he looks back on it all, when it's all said and done, he's gonna know what role he played in my life and my motivation. This fight camp specifically different from my past fight camps. We actually took it week by week this time instead of taking it as a whole. We broke down each week individually. It was a lot about the opponent, studying the opponent, the habits, the tendencies, the film, and then also improving what I'm good at, taking things to the next level as far as my game and my fight IQ itself. The hardest part about preparing for this fight is definitely the conditioning, all the hard work that's breaking down your body and your mental early in the camp. As my body got adjusted and my mind got adjusted, it got a little bit easier to deal with now that I'm getting set in that tone and that mentality of the fight. Take the game plan as a whole and you still got to implement the things in sparring that you want to do in the fight, even if it's not working on the sparring partners or training partners that you have, because they can't emulate your opponent to the fullest because they're just not him, or they've got fights coming up too. They've got to do their own thing. So it's difficult to find ways around that, but you just stick to the plan no matter what, and it translates in the fight. A good question. I actually looked for rewards throughout past fight camps. And sometimes you don't see results and rewards during fight camps. And when you do, you kind of maybe get a little bit of false confidence. You look for rewards and results during fight camp. The results and the reward comes on fight night. Fight camp is where you make the mistakes, is where you make the adjustments to where everything falls in line during the fight. That way nothing's new, Even if things aren't going your way in the fight, you can still make the adjustments because you did it all throughout fight camp. So this camp, I didn't really look for results. I just put in the work and enjoyed the process and checked all the boxes off my list so my results would come on fight night. In the past, I've always mentally prepared for fights as that was my last day, you know, that I was preparing for death, to die, to go in there and die and put my life on the line. This fight camp, I'm prepared to go in there and put your life on the line and come in there to kill you. My mentality for this fight is I got a mission. I've got one mission and one mission only, and I'm coming to make that mission a success this time. I'm not putting my life on the line, his life's on the line. He's in that cage with me, you know? I'm not in that cage with him anymore. I'm not in that cage with the opponents anymore. They're in that cage with me from now on. So that's the difference for this one for sure. Let's start with Derek. Derek Disponette is pretty much the heart and soul of the coaching. And it's time to lock in and understand who he is and what role he plays in our training and in our fight camps. I mean, he's the big dog. He's the top dog. The head coach, he's the one that's got control of it all. Even though we have a good brother relationship too, and things can be, you know, me and Derek, we joke a lot, we have a lot of fun, but we also draw that line on the professional relationship side as well. So when it's time to lock in, it's the tone of Derek that he gives me really just flips the switch in my head.
I remember when he first started training, I told him, I was like, the workload is a little different, maybe than what you're used to, maybe not, I don't know. I told him, I said, we work really hard for long periods of time. We need to be ready. And there was a couple of times we were having motivational talks by the trash can, which is over by the door, about, hey, just finish clearing that out of your system, rinse your mouth out, because we still have work to do. And every time, first couple weeks, he'd come up off that trash can, get back out in the gym, back to training, back to working. And then eventually what happens is you start getting acclimated to the work. You started understanding why we work so hard. And he has done everything I have asked him to do. He does everything I tell him to do. There's never a moment where I'm at the end of a 2-hour training session with him, I'm like, all right, well, we got 20 more rounds on the pads. Or, hey, I need you to go put in 3 or 4 miles out here in this loop, and then we have some extra work to do at the end. He never says no. He's like, all right, cool, I got you. And he goes and does it. Everything I ask him to do. And it shows that he has the ability to put his personal feelings aside and work for something greater than him. Tyler doesn't quit. He doesn't. When he's hurt, we work around it. When he's tired, we keep working. When he doesn't feel good, we work anyway. Everybody wants to be a superstar, but not everybody wants to do the things it takes to become a superstar, to stay a star. People don't talk about time you miss at work, time you miss with your family, time you miss with loved ones, right? You don't see all the sacrifices people make to get there, to stay there. And that's what I asked Tyler to do. Like, if this is what you want to do, you might as well start doing it now. Live now like you want to live later. He does, and I've got the utmost respect for him. We've gotten really close. Outside of the gym, I would say Tyler is one of my close friends. I can trust him with stuff because I trust him to do what he says he's going to do.
As far as Todd Prace, it's been a blessing to have him in our recent training camps and that I was able to meet him and get him involved in my career. He fills all the gaps in as far as the wrestling, the grappling, and the cage work and fight IQ overall, because the guy's been in high-level camps at the highest level under the biggest shows with top guys in the world. I mean, Ronda Rousey, John Jones, Frank Mears, I mean, all those guys. He's seen what it takes in the work that you got to put in to get to that next level. So it's been a blessing to have him.
What got me into MMA in general was my wrestling background. While I was in Vegas, I trained alongside a couple UFC fighters and my head coach, Ricky Lindell, who's a 5th degree black belt under Pedro Sauer. And I met Tyler Stout through Jacob Yancey, actually at a UFC fight. So he came out with us and watched the fights. And since then, we've kind of developed this friendship and coach and athlete relationship. Tyler's grappling style going into this fight and going into any fight, he's very technical, he's very grimy. He's willing and able to do pretty much anything we throw at him. Takes a couple reps, we're drilling it, and then all of a sudden, live situations, he's getting to his attacks and again, getting to those positions that we've been working on for these camps, and especially for this camp. He's really grown into his own. A win for Tyler in this fight is kind of a feather in his cap. It's going to be pretty huge. He gets to go back home fighting for combat night and getting the job done again, where he had already previously won a title. And for him to be able to get to go do that in front of his home crowd back in Florida is going to be awesome for him. And I think it's going to catapult his career to the next level and hopefully get us a little bit closer to that UFC belt. For me as a coach of Tyler, it's really huge being he's my only professional MMA athlete currently at this time. Again, getting back into the game right now with him has been an honor to be able to be his head grappling coach at this time. That night is going to be explosive. Make sure that you're tuned in. If we're watching online, you're watching on TV, whatever the case might be, but if you're there live in the crowd, do not blink for a second.
Zachary Grasso, he's been around since my first amateur fights. He's the mind behind the film, the footwork, the tendencies, the habits as far as mine and the opponents. He brings in the NFL side, the deep film study that NFL teams sit down and do. He's that type of guy. You know, he lives in Colorado, so it's difficult to always be around him 24/7. So the virtual stuff that we do as far as breaking down fights itself, whether it's in camp or outside of camp, he's definitely filled those gaps in as far as taking this shit to the next level.
I first met Tyler at Pete White Boxing and MMA at Port Orange, Florida. At that point, I was just being a helpful hand around the gym, really just being a body for anyone who needed it. Tyler and I kind of started just getting work in naturally every single day and built an authentic relationship. And at that point, he moved to Kentucky and I ended up moving back to Colorado. So it was just important for us to create a conversation about how can I be most useful for him and the team that we're a part of. And that's when I started using all my time to go towards film and creating structure throughout the camp to build understanding of what we're doing. I think the biggest way that I've been personally impactful on Tyler's career is assisting him with slowing down the game. Just showing him the microseconds that exist in the cage and all of the opportunities that are there for him to be successful. And from there, he takes it and just implements it really, really well. My message to Tyler going into the cage this time is, trust your eyes. Force your opponent to make the mistakes. When you feel the breeze, close the window. I tell him this every time. Don't hit him hard. You already hit hard. Most importantly, have fun out there. He performs best when he's enjoying himself, when he has a certain swag to him. And that allows him to also process the information at the speed we're looking for so he can execute and, put out all of his best attributes. I feel extremely confident in his chances in this upcoming bout. We've created a recipe for success through training, through all of the film study that we've done, and all he has to do is go out there, trust that process, stick to the game plan, and we enjoy our night that night. Tyler's future, man, I see fighting on the biggest stages. I see going from the People's Main Event, which he's been his entire career so far, to main events, to having something gold at his house with some rubies on it. His aspirations go as far as the opportunities that are going to be available for him, and he's going to be ready, he's going to be trained well, and he's going to perform because that's something that he always does. It's always a pleasure working with him.
It's a blessing to have all three guys, and all four of us seem to bring to the table what other camps are lacking, and it all mends together well, and we all work together pretty well. So it's, as all four of us as a whole, is the heart, soul, and the mind of Todd No Smoke. Stumpy's always been involved in my training camps the past 3 years or so. He's definitely that guy that just shows up when he's supposed to show up. He does the work that he does, and he's helped me get better as a fighter, and I've helped him get better as a fighter. I've seen a lot of his ups and downs. He's seen a lot of my ups and downs, and he's involved every day. So having somebody in the corner and in my camp that's there every day and knows me from head to toe, I mean, it's a guy that doesn't miss a beat as far as my career. It's good to have somebody in your corner that's strapping his boots on and is involved in camp and can sit back and play the coaching role too. So it's great to have him involved. I honestly don't know where I would be without somebody like Stump in my camp and in my corner. So.
And all the raw footage, brother.
I'll give you some raw footage. Tyler and I have been training together for almost 3 years, two or 3 years. It's been awesome to watch, especially like him letting me step in and being in the role that I get to be in with him, being like one of the main bodies he works with on a day-to-day basis. I've been in his corner now. This will be the 3rd time, so it's pretty fucking awesome. Tyler is the best way to describe his fighting style is a fucking car crash. And there's no other way that the fight's going when Tyler steps in the cage. It's somebody's getting knocked the fuck out. You don't see a whole lot of 125ers that possess the power and the fight IQ, you know, that Tyler has. You know, every time he gets in the cage, you know what's gonna happen. This is the best I've seen Tyler look in a camp. I feel like everything's clicking, you know, considerably better than it ever has. You know, going back from last camp to this camp has been just a crazy difference with, you know, the intensity, the speed. He's very, very focused. He's very dialed in. This will probably be the best version of Tyler we've ever seen. If this dude makes it out of the first round, I'd be very surprised. But, you know, you're gonna see a violent motherfucker. I've never really been rocked. He's got me several times this camp. I've had 7 fights and I've had one guy rock me. And, you know, it's kind of surreal that, you know, somebody that, you know, is a 125 pounder is coming out here and cracking my chin when, you know, 185 pounders, 205ers could. His pop and his shots and the intensity and the purpose with everything he's throwing is just, it's been very impressive to see this camp. Tyler's gonna go as far as he wants to go. If Tyler wants to be the champion in the UFC, then Tyler's gonna be the champion in the UFC. I think we're getting ready to go on a run.
Knew he was a southpaw, knew he had some skill, knew he had a gas tank for days, knew he was good on the ground, we knew that if we let him dictate the pace of the fight, that we were gonna have a really hard time with him, right? And all the film that we watched, and we studied hours and hours and hours of film, the one thing that was consistent through all that was that if this kid's comfortable, he works well. And so our whole plan going into it, well, let's just not let him get comfortable, right? Let's push it, right? Let's not lay back in the beginning and fill him out. Every time we hit him, let's try to make a dent. I told him, I was like, I want this kid so busy reacting to getting hit that he doesn't have time to think about the plan he put into place. Every time he kicks, I want to hit him. Boom. Every time he reaches out to touch, I want to fucking hit him. I told Tyler, I was like, look, like I want in between rounds, I want his corner so busy, icing him down, getting him water, and making sure he's okay, that they don't have time to figure out what we're doing and why we're doing it. I want their game plan to be like, well, I guess we just need a takedown. Not knowing that our takedown defense is spectacular. Our wrestling is great. Our jiu-jitsu is great, right? We wanted to knock this guy out. We wanted to beat him until he either went to sleep or he quit. When he works to your left, I want to corral with that left hook and I want to sting him with that right hand. When he's in place and he's looking like he's trying to set something up, I want to be hitting him in the chin. Every minute we control, right? The kid's on his back foot. He's on a cage panel somewhere. He's getting hit in the chin. He's getting hit in the body. He's getting hit with elbows. So round one's over. For 5 minutes, we've blasted at 100 miles an hour. The kid's hurt. This is what we're doing in round 2. This is how I want you to start. This is what you need to watch out for. Starts to attack a little bit. He starts to move. He's working his in and outs. And then we catch him with a little combination, just enough to rattle him. They're on their feet. The kid tries to throw. Tyler ducks. Boom. Overhand right. Bow. Kid falls on him, tries to hold on. Tyler controls, ducks underneath. Boom.
The elbow and the hook. Wow. And that is it. And the heavy hands. If you want to slam with me, I can slam right back at you. Of Tyler, no smoke, Stout. Wow. Puts an end to the fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, your referee calls a stop to this bout. In round number 2, via KO for your winner, out of the blue corner, Tyler No Smoke Stout.
What it means to represent Two Brothers Muay Thai is it's very prideful to represent this gym and the striking that comes from this gym, because we're known as a striking gym. There's a lot of work that gets put in here that people don't see. It's easy to sit back and say that we only strike. We do everything. And when you walk through these doors, it's a fight gym. It's a different type of vibe. When you've got all the fighters here and all of us are getting ready for fights, or you even got one guy getting prepared for a fight, it's a dialed-in camp, dialed-in fight team training. And what it means to put two brothers on my back is these knockouts and these highlight reels that I put on. That represents Two Brothers Muay Thai. Yeah, the message to people supporting me is, first off, I want to say I love you guys. Thank you so much for sticking with me from the beginning to the end. Or if you had seen me online and you jumped on the train recently in my career, it's obviously because you like what you see. So I just want to thank everybody for the love and support, the sponsors that I have, and the coaches that I have, the team I have, my loved ones, the people that fill in all the gaps outside of training camp, just in my life in general. You guys make it a lot easier on me to be successful. And once again, I just want to say thank you and that I love you guys.